Today I'm gonna go through the new Belgard app that is available right now on the Apple iOS store. So traditionally with these presentations, we go over every facet of Design Studio. Today, we're just gonna do an abridged version focused right on the app and how that integrates with other features such as hover and other things like that. So as you all know, Belgard Design Studio, we're here to convert, basic sketches into 3D renderings. So we feel that the Belgard app is going to help expedite that process even further. So here's just a quick overview of what we're talking about. We're going to go over how this integrates with the app, how you can use this for some remote sales strategies that are especially useful right now during the COVID pandemic. So we'll have some tips and tricks there for you to pass along to your BACs. So here's a quick overview of how the new submission process works. You will still always be able to submit a project on the online portal. You see in step 2 on that column. You can still go and use your regular PC to submit a project. For Android users, we don't yet have a mobile app. That is in the works, and we'll keep you guys posted on that. But for right now, all users of iPhone, iOS can use the new Belgard app. But if not, you can still always use that traditional web portal as we've done in the past. Same deliverables, same everything else. Now we just have a new way to go about that for iOS users. So when a contractor gathers their photos, their sketch, we'll just go through the process of how to do that, whether they're submitting a project on the web portal or on the iOS store. So we're going to go through both of those right now for you. The desktop portal, this is just going to be a quick rehash. Nothing has changed on the web portal as far as how you submit. You go to the same web link above, belgard.com/design studio. You click on order now, enter the password authorized, and it's the same easy process as before. For those of you who are promoting, the Belgard app and your contractor is on Android, they're still going to have to use this process to submit projects, but down the road, we will have an Android app available for them. But they'll still have to use this desktop option for the time being. So without further ado, let's dive into the iPhone mobile app and how it works, what you're able to do on it, and all that good stuff. So here are some of the key features of the new Belgard app. It allows contractors to do everything from their phone. So that's not only submitting a project, but they can also chat directly with the designer on their project. They can upload all of their photos, their notes, etc. Download all of the renderings, even view and download the videos right from on the app. It'll take them right to the virtual reality views that they can use with the Belgard VR goggles. And what's cool is you're able to archive all of your projects right from within the app. So you're essentially carrying around a portable digital portfolio with you everywhere you go. And again, this is all just to make that process even easier for our contractors. So I'm sure the first question is, how do we get started? How do we create an account? So we actually went ahead and already created accounts for every existing Belgard authorized contractor using their existing credentials from their regular Belgard online accounts. So whatever email address is registered from within the Belgard, the typical Belgard authorized contractor account that we got from Salesforce, they would basically use that email address, type in the word authorized. So you can just go onto Salesforce or your authorized contractor account for your reps. It's that same email address that they use to register. We're going to recommend that all contractors. So let's say there's a couple of designers or salespeople at a company. We recommend that they all use the same account because what we're worried about potentially happening is there might be the owner of a company who might have their project spread across several different designers, and it might be tough to track that down. So we strongly encourage that all of the contractors from within their same company, they use that same login so that all of their projects can be accessed from within the same account. And that way communication's a lot easier. Everything's in the same place. There's less back and forth. If you need us to create additional accounts, just send us a message and we can do that for you. But as we said earlier, all of the accounts have already been created using those credentials, and everybody's default password is authorized, and they can always use the forgot password function to reset that password up to whatever they choose. So diving into the features of the app, there's a really easy to use interface that actually prompts you with some tutorials when you get started that shows you how the navigation page works. So we'll go through that here. Submitting a project is really easy. You just hit the plus symbol at the bottom of the main landing screen, and it will ask for the basic info of that project, the address, the client name, what you want to name the project, all that stuff. And then it'll bring you to this screen where you can upload sketches, photos, notes, all of that stuff into one spot. And what's really cool about this is a contractor can do this on site, but let's say they don't have, obviously it takes, sometimes a little bit of time to create a sketch of the property, but they can at least get the process started on site, upload their photos, their notes right away. And then when they go back into the office, they can upload their sketches and hit the submit button. So it's really easy to use in that regard, and it'll help the contractor with the whole process. So again, there will be some tips that come up when they open the photos icon. It'll guide them through best practices for what type of photos we look for. They can take them live from within the app or upload them from their library. Once they have everything on there, you can hit the submit button. You can review all of your content at any time and make sure you have enough photos and notes. And then you can always update this after the fact. And then once they go to submit, it's just going to have a couple tips to remind them to make sure that they have some detailed measurements, accurate site photos, and all that good stuff, just as a friendly reminder. And then we'll reach out to them after the project is submitted and let them know when they can expect to receive the renderings. And there will be a notification that shows up on their app. So as long as they have notifications turned on their iPhone settings, there'll be a red icon that appears, and it'll let them know that the 3D renderings package is ready for them to view. So all of that's going to be viewable, all from within the app. And you'll be able to see the regular 3D renderings, the fly-through animations, all of the virtual reality stuff, all from within the app. They can share the presentations right with their client, however they choose. So it's really just a really easy to use, all in one spot to view all of the renderings in one location. And then once they receive the renderings and they want to just look at all of their pending projects or archived projects, they just go back to the main landing hub, and they can sort all of their projects by address or by the latest activity. So if they have several projects going on at the same time, they can go in the chat function and communicate directly with the designer for their project and add some notes. And then that will ping either me or whoever, one of the designers on the team, that there's been some updates to the design, and it's all in one spot. And again, this is a great way to have a digital portfolio right in your pockets. You can have all of your finished projects in one location, as well as all of your active projects. So it's not only a great portfolio tool, but it's also just a great way to manage all of your projects in one location. So Another big feature that we're really happy to have integrated is Hover. So Hover is baked right into the process of the Belgard app. So right from within the app, you can click on the Hover icon, and it will prompt you to the Hover app so that you can utilize that technology as well. It's not required for contractors to use the Hover on every project, but we strongly encourage it because, as we've said on prior presentations, this is a huge benefit for us to get these renderings out faster and with a higher degree of detail. So I'm not going to go too much into Hover because we've covered that a lot on previous presentations, but again, it will bring them right into the Hover app and will automatically forward them to the iOS store to download it on their phone if they don't already have it. I do want to make it clear that Hover is technically a separate application. However, with the way that it works on the iOS integration, it brings you right to the app and it brings you right from the Belgard app over into the Hover app. And then as soon as you're done uploading your photos to the Hover app, it will navigate you back into the Belgard app seamlessly. So it almost doesn't feel like two separate applications. So one important thing to note when using Hover for iOS users is that they have to click on that Hover icon in that red box at the bottom there. That ensures that the Hover request is linked to that specific design studio request. Otherwise, if they were to open the Hover app without first submitting the project or first starting the project on the Belgard app, it doesn't necessarily have to be submitted, but as long as they started it and are in draft format, they have to click on that Hover icon in order for them to be linked. Otherwise, it's just going to be lost on the internet and not linked to our account. So that's a really important thing for contractors to understand when using it. Now for Android users, as I said earlier, that is in the works. We are working on an Android app for, or a Belgard app for the Android platform. However, we still want Android users to use the standalone Hover app. So for the time being, Android users can continue to reach out to us if they would like a Hover account created. Just shoot us an email at bdsinfo@oldcastle.com and we can create an account for them. So they can still go on Hover, upload the photos, submit the project. The big thing, as I said earlier, that we want to make sure is clear is that a Hover request is not going to automatically prompt a Belgard Design Studio request. So any Android users are still going to have to go through the traditional web portal for the time being. So anyone who needs accounts for that, feel free to send us an email at bdsinfo@oldcastle.com. We'll create the account. Otherwise, all Apple users can just go right through the app and create their Hover account right through there without even having to reach out to us. So just wanted to make that clear. And again, all of the Hover Connect options that we've gone over in previous presentations are still available the same way as before. So for those of you who don't know, Hover Connect allows for the contractor to send a link to the homeowner where, let's say they're on quarantine and they don't want a contractor coming over to their house to practice social distancing. They can send that link right through to the homeowner, and then they can still utilize Hover without the contractor even having to step foot on the property. So here's a very quick demonstration of a contractor up in, actually on our advisory council, who submitted a project, and he never even stepped foot on the property. He went onto Google Maps, threw some labels on there, had the homeowner go on to Hover Connect and do the whole process. And they were able to send us all the content we needed, and nobody had to, compromise themselves with social distancing. and they were able to give us everything we needed by using Hover. And we were able to, give them some beautiful renderings, show some upsell options with some outdoor lighting and other features. Um, so that's pretty much a just down and dirty overview of how this works for existing contractors.